everybody, how you doing? So today I want to talk about two things I really like. Studying folklore and Supernatural. No, not the Supernatural, I mean Supernatural, the TV show. You know, the one with the redonkulously tall Jared Padalecki and the extraordinarily symmetrical Jensen Ackles. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. So I was first introduced to Supernatural by Hannah, who you've seen her on this channel a couple of times. She kind of pops in and out. By the way, she's got her own YouTube channel now, and you should definitely check it out, especially if you are an aspiring writer who is looking into publishing. She's got all sorts of experience and decided to share that with people and give people advice on how to get published. Anyway, she just posted her first video, so that's up, so go check that out. Anyway, so Hannah was the one who introduced me to Supernatural, and she basically told me, oh, you'll love it, you're a folklore student, it'll be perfect for you, you'll love it. I did. I loved it. Anyway, Supernatural is a pretty cool show for folklorists in a variety of ways. I mean, there's like the obvious appeals, you know, the religious lore and folk tales and supernatural monsters and all that sort of thing. But there's other reasons it appeals to my folklore brain that maybe won't be quite so obvious to most people, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, for the obvious reasons why my folklore brain would like this show, pretty much all of season 1 of Supernatural was pulled out of Jan Harold Brunvan's Encyclopedia of Urban Legends, which is a great read regardless of whether you're an academic or not. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they all just sat down at the writer's table and went through the Encyclopedia of Urban Legends and was like, I want that one, and let's take that one, and oh, that one looks good. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. In fact, season 1, episode 7, The Hook Man, is actually based on like 3 different legends from the Encyclopedia of Urban Legends that are all smushed together into one episode. I guess just dealing with one wouldn't have given them the full 45 minutes for their episode, right? Then of course you get like the Grimm's folk tales and the magical creatures from most people associate with folk tales. You know, fairies, werewolves, vampires, changelings, dragons. And though they do tend to make up some of the stuff that, you know, goes along with the supernatural versions of those creatures, they do include a lot of traditional lore that are associated with those creatures, namely with preventing those creatures from getting into your house and killing you all in your sleep. Most of these have to do with the stuff that they use as monster repellent in the show, things like salt, or iron, or silver, or fire. Religious lore also plays a major part in the show, especially Judeo-Christian lore, just given all the angels and demons of it all. But there are nods to other religions too, including Hinduism and Shintoism. And then you get mythology from ancient cultures, like the ancient Egyptians, or the Greeks, or the Norse. And I think a lot of people tend to associate those types of stories more with like folk tales and fairy tales, but it's important to remember that in their day, those were sacred texts. That was, at one time, religion. Even when Christian lore does become really important to the show, what I really like is that they don't just pick and choose out of the Bible either. They also have a lot of subtle references to other old Christian texts that aren't actually associated with the Bible itself. For example, one of the main characters, the angel Castiel, he's actually based off of around about 13th century texts that actually describe a character of the same name, an angel named Castiel, who presides over Thursdays. So if, say, you were born on a Thursday and needed angelic assistance for whatever, Castiel is the angel you would pray to. But enough about the content of folklore. What I really like about Supernatural is the way they represent the processes of studying folklore. For one, Sam and Dean, the main characters, have to do a lot of research, and they have to consult a variety of sources to figure out what it is that they're fighting and how to get rid of it. Sometimes they read books, or they consult archives, or even they go and interview actual people, which are all processes that real folklorists use in their own research. Granted, most folklorists aren't, you know, aiming to go out and kill monsters, but the processes are basically the same. And I gotta say, I love a man who does research. Anyway, if they ever wanted to retire from hunting, they would be great folklorists. And then of course the character Metatron kind of always makes me chuckle a little bit in my folklorist heart because, well, he's basically what we in the field would refer to sort of jokingly and sort of disdainfully as an armchair folklorist, which basically means that he gets to sit in his cozy study and drink tea and read books while he sends other people out to do his collecting for him. But one of my really favorite folklore things that I've ever seen in the show would probably have to be season 6, episode 18, Frontierland. It's mostly a favorite of mine because it deals with the question of authenticity. Basically in the episode, Sam and Dean have to go back to 1800s Wyoming, and of course Dean, being a real Wild Western movie buff, is real excited to actually go and be in the Wild West for real. At least until he gets there and found out it's kinda actually more like this.
Nice blanket.
You want a kiss?
Oh, so much more germier than I pictured. This is not awesome.
Now, of course, stuff like that is a major plot point in a variety of stories where a character gets all excited to go to a place they've been wanting to go for a long time and it's not what they expect. But to me, being a folklore student, it's really kind of fun because Dean has this constructed idea of what he thinks is authentic Wild West culture. The clothes, the food, the mannerisms, the saloon girls. And that is exactly the problem that folklorists have with authenticity as a concept. It's a construct. And a lot of the times, it's not even constructed by the people to whom that culture belongs to. It's usually constructed by outsiders coming in to experience that culture, aka tourists. Now I'm just gonna cut myself off before I go on like a 20-minute long fangirly tirade. But let me just say, I'm not the only one who has found that Supernatural is a really fun show for folklorists. Now for those of you who are interested in reading more about Supernatural in terms of folklore studies, this is a really good book. You can find a link to it on Amazon in the description. Anyway, so that was fun and I hope you enjoyed it, because you can basically consider it a little taster for what you're gonna be getting in the folklore tree when I start producing it this weekend. Knock on wood. So if you want to keep an eye out for my educational channel about folklore, you can find a link to that channel, the Folklore Tree, in the description, and just hit that subscribe button. So thanks again, you guys, for watching, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next Thursday.
Egypt.